Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm absolutely in love with this DIY. This is a farmhouse, oh, it's a long one. Farmhouse, topiary, ball, pot thingy for my bathroom. Another item for my shelf in my bathroom. And I absolutely love it. It is farmhouse inspired. It absolutely did not go to plan, and that's absolutely fine. I love the end result anyway. So if you'd like to see how I made this from scratch, I hasten to add, then keep on watching. Everything I've used in this DIY is right here. It feels like there's so much because there's different elements, but really and truly, we're painting a pot, we're throwing some moss balls in, and that's pretty much it. It's just all of these little fiddly bits that go along with it. So I've got my pot here. I'll talk more about that in a second. My twine, I've got tape to do bits, and I've got my hot glue gun, extra glue sticks, I've got some black paint here, I've got my white spray paint for the pot, I've got the Mod Podge to mix in with the moss to coat the balls. That's everything I have used in this video, or about to use in this video. First thing I need to do is really give this pot a really decent clean, and I feel like I need to talk about this a little bit. Not for long. I got this from my other half's daughter. I am literally a scavenger. I went through her garden again, so I saw this as well, and I just basically begged if I could have it. She gave it to me willingly. So it's filthy and it needs a seriously good scrub and a I have given this a really good scrub. It still looks muddy inside, but that's really just rust where it's been sitting out in the garden for so long. I'm now going to take this outside and give it 2 coats of the white. Now I am going to spray really, really lightly. I know that sometimes I can get heavy-handed with my spray paint, so I'm just going to go really, really slowly and really, really lightly, and then do 2 coats until this is completely and utterly white all over. And this is the container now that it's been sprayed. Believe it or not, this is 4 coats. I've actually never known anything to take so many coats before. I'm going to leave the handles like a little bit non-opaque. I might paint those black. But yeah, so that's it done. The next step is to coat the polystyrene balls in the moss. I'm actually going to skewer with one of my craft skewers, because I use this for loads of projects. But yeah, I'm going to skewer one of my polystyrene balls with the skewer just for ease. And I'm going to give each ball a coat of Mod Podge just to get tacky, allowing the moss to stick once I've mixed the moss in with the glue. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is the messy bit. So I'm going to get a bowl. Make sure you use a bowl that you are not emotionally attached to. This is just a cheap mixing bowl from Poundland, and I am going to pour my moss in. And this is the moss I got it from Baker Ross. It's an online shop, mostly school supplies, but you can buy things in bulk. So that's the moss I'm using. It is just dried moss. So I am going to pour some moss into the bowl. I don't know how much I'm going to use, so I'm just going to put a bit in for now, add the glue, and then see how it goes. And this is my favourite bit. This is where we get super messy and we don't care. So I'm going to add the glue into the moss. Now, a lot of people, I've never seen anyone really use this method. I see a lot of people use hot glue and then stick the moss in bits. But honestly, I struggle with that. I just struggle with that. I find it far too hard. The moss is so dry and it just literally sticks to your finger. Well, obviously it sticks to your fingers, but it just, yeah, I find it too hard. So I do like this method. It really worked for me when I made my home DIY sign. And yeah, I'm going to try it again and we'll see. Okay, so that's quite a nice amount. You can see it's sticking together there, but it's not completely and utterly saturated. So what you want to do now, if you are attempting this project or anything similar, you want to grab your balls and basically go easy and just start to attach that moss around like so. This is where it all falls apart and it all falls off, and this method is not going to work, but it'll be fine. I'm confident, I'm confident. I think it's just going to be a slow process, and the more glue you have on there, you can see me squishing that down. It's going to adhere to that ball a lot easier if you've got more glue on there. That is my first grassy moss ball. I love it. So I'm going to put that to one side, allow that to dry while I crack on with the other two. Right, I thought I'd press play again purely because by ball number 3, I don't know, you're probably all sitting at home going, "Cool, I can't believe you've got patience for that, Claire." But by ball number 3, of course that patience wore thin, just a tad. So my third plan for the third ball just worked out so much better if you don't mind getting that little bit more messy and of course that little bit more green. So yeah, I went absolutely crazy with this one. Actually worked out so much better. I mulched the moss into the glue. There are some twigs in here, sorry, and they're hurting my hands. I mulched the glue into the moss really, really well and actually lay it down on my hand like this. And I grabbed the ball and I just squished it around the ball. I took the stick out because we live and learn. I took the stick out and it was more of a hindrance having it in there. And now I'm just gonna mold it around the ball with my hand until the whole ball is coated. Now I know that this is gonna give more of a smooth effect at the end. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing that result. Now, while the moss is drying, I am going to decorate this pot. Now, I really should have bought some black acrylic paint, but I don't have any at the moment. I'm going to go in and use black emulsion paint, but only because I'm going to give it a coat of top coat sealer once I've painted. So it will be absolutely fine. And all I use are tester pots from Wilko's, for those of you that know Wilko's, or you know, like those £1 tester pots that you can pretty much get from any home department store. So I'm going to paint both handles black, and then I'm going to add some black detail around the edge. What I'm going to use is a dish sponge because it's just easy for me. So I've just have one of these cheap sponge scourers. I'm going to trim off a little rectangle and just dip it in the sponge. I'm going to dip it in the paint, and I'm going to use the paint quite sparingly. I'm not going to put too much on the edge of the sponge, just enough to coat the marks in. So I'm just going to go around those lines, and yeah, really lightly, and just go easy. So I'm only pressing real lightly on the detail of those lines, and hopefully it pays off. And I gave this a coat of polyurethane top coat finish. It actually is clear protective finish for wood, metal and painted surfaces. I just thought it'd be perfect for this. You do have to be careful if you're using this. It comes out quite yellow, so you have to be very, very So at the moment, the plan is to put the topiary balls inside the pot. So I want to create a surface for those balls to rest on. I was thinking about using a cardboard tube, but it's just going to be too faff. So I am going to draw around the pot on my foam and basically get a nice base from which to cut. So I have created my shelf. It does fit quite nicely. I just want to make sure that it never falls down any lower than I need it to be. So I have cut out 2 pieces of cardboard tubing, which I'm going to hot glue to the bottom of the pot so that when that shelf does go in, it's never going to go past those points. At the ready, and I'm just going to put a dollop of hot glue at the bottom of this side. And I'm just gauging the circle, really. I don't really know if that's gonna, yeah, so that's lovely. I'm gonna put one there and I'm going to put another one here. Like so. So when I put that shelf in, it won't go past that point. Now I'm going to put hot glue on the tops of those and put my shelf in. Now I'm being messy with the hot glue gun here because it doesn't matter. I'm never going to see under this again, just because I need to act fast on this. So I'm going to go in with my shelf and push that down. Lovely. So that, oh, bit of a squish. Make sure it's kind of even all the way across, you know. That's my shelf in. So now I'm going to go around the edge with the hot glue gun just to reinforce that and make sure that never moves. Lovely, I'm happy with that. So now that I've done that, I'm going to reload my hot glue gun and I'm going to put some twine around the bottom of the piece. 5 times around the bottom, perfectly in proportion. I'm loving that. And then I'm going to glue it at the back and tie it off. Okay, and this is what it looks like so far. The ledge is in, everything's in. All I need to do now is place the topiary balls. Before I do that, I want to cover this base. So I'm going to give that a really generous coating of PVA glue, and then I'm going to add loose, dry moss to that. Okay, moment of truth. Until now, I haven't even measured the space for these, so I'm hoping they work. I'm going to put one straight in the middle with a giant dollop of hot glue straight on top of the moss and just hope for the best. And then I'm going to work out from the center to the edges with the other 2 balls. And here we go. That's one. Looking at it right now, doesn't look like they're going to fit. The moment of truth for putting these moss balls in the bucket became a moment of terror when I realised that not all 3 fit, because why would they? Who measures? Not me. So it's going to have to be 2 balls. I'm literally going to have to leave a ball behind. I mean, you know. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just put 2 of the moss balls inside the bucket. But I am going to add the loose moss that I suggested I might do at the beginning. And so, yeah, I'm going to place them in with some hot glue. Oh, hello, sponge. I'm going to place them in just with a dollop of hot glue to hold them in place. Like so. And then once that's dry, I will go over with some loose moss just to give them that fluffy, fresh look. And here is the finished result, albeit a little bit wet. I mean, I've ended up having to go with the 2. I've added the thinnest layer of the dried moss on top just to give them a bit more of a fluffy look, because I could only fit 2 in, but still I absolutely love it. Obviously I didn't plan it to look this way, but who likes plans, right? I did add the black wooden painted heart in the middle. Hope you've enjoyed, guys, and I really do look forward to the day that this dries. I feel like it might take a year. There's that much glue on it, but once it dries, I'm sure it will look absolutely fabulous on my bathroom shelf, and I can't wait to see it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.